So we're speaking to Mr. Prabhakaran, who's the former director of Pustaka, Wira, Negara of Arkib, Negara, Malaysia. Thank you so much, Prabha, for speaking to us on the Light Breakfast this morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Morning. Now,
thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah, we're very interested in this having this conversation with you because it's so apt for this week, right?
Yeah, and we want to learn more about our beloved country, Malaysia, right? So, Prabha, can you tell us a little bit more about the formation of Malaysia and all the events that had led up to it?
Okay. Firstly, I would like to mention that many people are still unaware that the name Malaysia had long been in use at various different times in various different contexts. The name was first used for the title of a book published in 1837.
Oh.
Another book published in 1936 was entitled Malaysia, A Study in Direct and Indirect Rule by Rupert Emerson. Next, we come to the use of the term in a particular context to refer to a merger or confederation of British territories in Southeast Asia. That is the context in which we are applying that word now.
Correct.
Right.
Malaysia. This idea goes as far back as 1893, when Lord Brassey, who was the director of the British North Borneo Company, proposed the amalgamation of all British possessions in Southeast Asia into one large colony. Brassey's proposal, however, did not find favor with the British government. Next comes the period of the Japanese occupation, and this is directly relevant for us today here.
Right.
During the war, the British government was secretly formulating post-war policies for Southeast Asia. It was felt that the British had been defeated in Southeast Asia because of the disunited nature of their territorial possessions and a lack of coordinated defense.
Oh, okay.
So in 1942, the Colonial Office, led by its Eastern Department, headed by Sir Edward Gen, came up with the idea of merging smaller territories for better administrative efficiency, economic development, political stability, and defense. This came to be known as the Grand Design. Towards this end, the British government created the post of the British Commissioner General for Southeast Asia, and the man chosen for the job was Malcolm MacDonald, a very interesting person. And incidentally, I would like to say that, mention that the Arkib Negara Malaysia has acquired some of his private papers just last year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Malcolm MacDonald.
Malcolm MacDonald, and I'm sure that it will be open to the public probably next year, sometime next year.
Okay.
So we can have access to a lot of information from the private papers. Yes.
Okay, so after achieving independence then, why did the government of the Federation of Malaya invite Sabah, Sarawak and Singapore to be part of this new nation?
The formation of Malaysia was a dormant idea that took on a new lease of life when Tunku Abdul Rahman made his famous speech on 27 September 1961 at Adelphi Hotel in Singapore. Actually, the man behind this speech was Selkirk. Selkirk was the British High Commissioner for Singapore.
Okay.
Singapore was all along very eager to come into Malaysia. Tunku, however, was not at all eager to invite Singapore into Malaysia, as it will upset the demography and also introduce new complications into Malaysia. But The pressure was on the Tunku to act fast, as it was feared that Singapore will fall to the communists,
Ah.
followed by the rest of the territories in the region, like a domino, they will
Okay.
fall one by one, it was
Yeah,
feared.
Yeah.
So as a first step, Malaysia Solidarity Consultative Council, comprising legislators from all the territories concerned, was formed in August 1961.
Okay.
The council was formed to clarify and agree on various issues relating to the merger. Tunku was invited to London to discuss the proposals. So as a follow-up to the talks, the Cobalt Commission was formed, comprising Lord Cobalt, who was the former governor of the Bank of England, and also two other British nominees, Sir Anthony Abel, who was the governor of Sarawak at the time, and Sir David Batherston, former Chief Secretary of the Federation of Malaya. On the Malayan side, you had Ghazali Shafi and Wong Pao Ni. They were both in the commission. The commission started work in early 1962 and completed its work by the end of June. The commission had to produce a report that reflected the people's views on Malaysia. The members met in London and a few other places to discuss.
Sorry, Prabhu, we can't see your face already. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Perfect. This perfect, yeah.
Are you recording the video? No.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh,
Yeah.
I was told it was just voice recording.
No, it's video as well, so that we can actually put it on our social media and everything.
Oh, but it was not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I was not prepared for the video.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's fine.
It's just
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay.
and
So it has the British
should we-
left?
should we-
Has the
should we-
British left the Federation of Malaya at this point? When all these talks were in place, the British has left the Federation of Malaya.
Yes.
Okay, so we are an independent. The Federation of Malaya
was independent
and
already.
Singapore was independent already.
That's right. Yeah. No, not Singapore. Singapore was not independent as yet, but
Okay.
Malaya was independent.
But Sabah and Sarawak, they haven't achieved their independence just yet from the British.
That's right.
In the early 60s.
Yeah.
Okay. So now all these talks have gone by, and everyone's agreed that Sabah and Sarawak and also Singapore should be part of Malaysia.
Yeah, right.
But the question here is like, why weren't they part of this original Merdeka back in 1957?
Okay, Tunku was more concerned about winning independence for Malaya. He was in a great hurry and did not want any scheme of merger or territorial expansion to derail his main focus on gaining independence for Malaya. The Alliance Party was strong and poised to win. And in the heat of the moment, I don't think he would have relished any uncertainties in the winning formula that he had so arduously worked out. It was good enough for Malaya to be able to achieve independence as early as possible, and secure its own sovereignty ahead of the colonial timetable for the grand design. There was a price to be paid for early independence, and it was this, that the British grand design was rendered untenable and remained unfulfilled for the moment. That is the price you have to pay for early independence. But the idea of Malaysia remained alive both in the minds of the British and Tunku, and finally came to fruition in 1963.
So 1957, let's get the Federation of Malaya
Free first.
free first, and then we'll move on step by step to the grand design.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But why was it important for the British, for all, for all of this, for Sabah, Sarawak, for North Borneo at that time, North Borneo, Sarawak, Singapore, and Malaysia to be one nation? Why was it important for the British?
Oh, for the British, it is because there was this threat of communism
Okay.
that was lurking. So that was the main reason for the merger.
Okay. From the point of the British, they just feel
That's
that these nations will be stronger in numbers.
That's right.
Oh, interesting. Now, I read that the original date for the formation of Malaysia was actually August 31st, 1963. So why was it delayed till 16th of September?
Actually, Tunku always wanted 31st August to be the one and the only date by which the birth of our nation is to be remembered and commemorated. The independence of Malaya was achieved on 31st August. And Tunku also wanted Malaysia to be proclaimed on the same date.
Mm.
It was supposed to be an auspicious date. Interestingly, he had also planned for the present Parliament building to be officially open, to be officially declared open on 31st August 1963. The Parliament building was then in the process of construction.
Right.
He was extremely disappointed when he did not succeed in having both these events on the same date, which is 31st August. The reason for the delay is that there were objections to the formation of Malaysia by two of our neighboring countries, namely Indonesia and Philippines.
Oh, okay.
Also, Kelantan decided to take up a case against the federal government, saying that the Malaysia Act was illegal.
Oh.
Kelantan, the state of Kelantan.
Kelantan, yeah, that's right.
Oh.
As a result of these disagreements, the United Nations embarked on a fact-finding mission to ascertain that the formation of Malaysia was bona fide. This report by the United Nations was only released on 14 September. On that same date, Kelantan's application was also rejected by the Chief Justice.
Right. Which is why immediately after that, then Malaysia only happened.
That's
after
right, yeah.
All right. Now, Prabha, as we all know today, Malaysia is a growing nation. What would you like to see personally as we celebrate another Malaysia Day?
We would like to see greater integration between East and West Malaysia, especially when it comes to issues concerning National Day celebrations. I would like to see 31st August restored as a day of celebration for the country as a whole. The date is important not just for Peninsular Malaysia, but for Sarawak and Sabah as well. In Sabah, 31st August is already being celebrated as a day of self-government, not independence, but as a day of self-government. In Sarawak, although 22nd July has been gazetted as Independence Day, that is lately, a few years ago.
All right.
31st August is still an important date because according to the Sarawak Gazette of 31st August 1963 has been registered as the day when Sarawak achieved internal self-government. So 31st August is still an important date. Even in the case of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew had declared independence on 31st August 1963. That is the date he himself chose to declare his independence on. Although there is reluctance to accept 31st August as an Independence Day for the country as a whole, it is at least a day when the Ruku Negara was officially launched by the Agong in 1970 and relaunched once again in this year, 2020. To that extent, 31st August will continue to have relevance for the country as a whole.
Okay, so you think that we should celebrate National Day on 31st August every
Yes,
year?
yes.
All
There
right.
is reason to celebrate
Okay. For
uh,
every state and for
for every
every, yeah.
yes, yes.
So should we instead call it 31st August, be Malaysia Day instead, and not Hari Merdeka or Independence Day then?
Yes, it could be Malaysia Day. It's very confusing to have so many days, so many dates,
National Day, Malaysia Day.
and then Sarawak, day.
Okay, interesting. So consolidated. I guess if you have a united view of when independence is or when
Yeah.
Malaysia is formed, then
And it's neater.
Yes, that's right.
and don't need to have so many public holidays. That might not work well with other people. Now, lastly, Prabha, what is your message to all Malaysians for this Malaysia Day?
The month-long celebrations that seek to bridge the time gap between 31st August and 16th September provide us with an opportunity to renew our commitment to national integration. Gone are the days when we concentrated on celebrating Malayan independence without regard to East Malaysia. We started with Bulan Kemerdekaan, celebrated between 15 August and 16 September. Then in 2010, we proceeded to declare 16 September as a national holiday for the whole country.
Mm.
Earlier, it was a national holiday for only Sabah and Sarawak. This is an improvement, and we need to go one step further by incorporating Malaysia Day into our constitution, just as Merdeka Day is recognized under Article 160 of the Federal Constitution. 31st August has already been gazetted as Independence Day. It should also be gazetted as the date of self-government for Sabah and Sarawak. More importantly, this day should be rededicated to Rukun Negara.